Unit 2, Topic F, Delete a table. We're looking at the Northwind sample database, and I want to show you how to delete a table. Sometimes we use tables only temporarily to store temporary data in, and sometimes as part of our database design we don't need a table any longer, in which case we delete it. And here is a note of caution. If you delete a table, as with a record or a data entity inside of the record, once it's deleted, unless you've made a backup of the whole database, you're not going to get it back. So don't bargain on being able to undo if you've accidentally deleted a table. That is typically not possible. So before you make any changes to the structure of your tables or your database or anything inside of it that you know you might want to get back afterwards, the best way to guard against accidental permanent loss would be to go to the File menu and do a Save As, and then simply call this database something else. Just give it another name so that when you make a mistake you can revert back to the original. That's always the best practice, safest practice, and I recommend that you do that in all instances. I'm not going to do that now. I'm going back to all access objects, and let's say for instance that there is a table there called strings, which we don't want. I'm opening the strings table. I'm going to close the customers table. Now I can right click on the table tab there and close it, but I can't delete it from here. So the way to delete the table would be to close it in the database window and to right click on the table object, and from there choose delete. Now Microsoft Access will warn you and say, do you want to delete? Deleting this object will remove it from all groups. And for more information on how to prevent this message, etc., click help, which is not relevant right now. The point is that if I click yes now, I'm going to permanently delete this table, which I'm not going to do because this is my sample database. But remember that when you permanently delete a table, because we're working inside of a relational database, this table might be related to a whole lot of different entities. And sometimes deleting a table which is related to other entities is a very bad idea. So make sure that you know exactly what to do and why you want to do that before deleting a table. For now, I'm not going to press yes, I'm going to press no, and I'm not going to delete that table because it is too valuable to me. There is no need to delete tables unnecessarily inside of a database, except if you want to clean them up, if you want to clean up the database and get rid of redundant data. So don't feel the need to go and delete something if it isn't entirely necessary to do so. In further topics we'll be discussing relational entities, and this is where I'll show you that sometimes to delete a table which is linked to another table via a relation is a very bad idea, and it breaks the database. So for now, know that you can delete any table by simply right-clicking on the table object and choosing delete, but it is not recommended at this point that you do that unless you know exactly what you're doing. End of topic F.